Patriot.
Hey, this is Skylar.
My name's the Devil's Rejects.
I'm the big-time wrestling heavyweight champion, Flex Armstrong.
I'm the connected
Rusev Day every day.
It's Rusev Day every day.
Exactly.
And you're watching the Wrestling Connection.
And you're watching Wrestling Connection.
And watch the Wrestling Connection.
You're watching the Wrestling Connection.
This is the Patriot.
Hey, this is Skylar.
My name's the Devil's Rejects.
I'm the big-time wrestling heavyweight champion, Flex Armstrong.
I'm the connected
Rusev Day every day.
It's Rusev Day every day.
Exactly.
And you're watching the Wrestling Connection.
And you're watching Wrestling Connection.
And watch the Wrestling Connection.
You're watching the Wrestling Connection.
I hear that women gain immortality from licking the feet of babies.
What? Say.
Be connected, get connected, and stay connected, brothers.
Allison.
Hello, Allison, and welcome to the Be Connected, Get Connected, Stay Connected.
This is the big, of course, with the official presentation. Thank you.
Get connected, be evil, or die.
Moving on.
Be connected, get connected, stay connected.
And welcome to episode 253, part 2 of the most award-winning must-see wrestling talk show to ever hit Bedford TV or any airways for that matter. North, south, east, west, frontwards, backwards, diagonal, sideways, any way we should look at it, all around the world, the Wrestling Connection. I am your host, the consumer of wrestling knowledge, the prize fighter of the Wrestling Connection, the breaker of Kens, the legacy of Team Kaufman, and soon to be the legacy of this show, Dan Kaufman. Oh, and for the last time, Big Four champion, because this will be retired next time the show's up. But for now, everybody, I would like to welcome you to the Wrestling Connection Kaufman Corner. Ta-da. So, this is, like I said, part 2, because not only could Ken not keep his hands to himself, meaning that the two of us need to be on separate shows for the week, hopefully to cool our jets, but also he decided to get me sick to try and sabotage my first solo outing. But it's going to take more than a cold to keep me down and away, especially when we have on the line the soon-to-be undisputed World Wrestling Connection Championship. So yeah, as for this hat, Ken, you want to give me luck? I don't need luck. But I do need a placeholder, a place to hold this placeholder. Off to the side. So, unlike a certain rambling guy who just happens to be out in Florida enjoying himself right now, let's get into the predictions and see what we got in store for us, huh? So, the first match for this Royal Rumble will be, let me get this up for you, because as usual, I am the one running the show, because that's how it should be. So, get that off, and this up. Royal Rumble, first match. The Cruiserweights. We have, from this way to that way, Kalisto, Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami. 4 great guys, 4 awesome competitors. 3 of the 4 have been champion at one time. So, this is a fatal 4-way to determine who's going to be the champion. As Ken said before, this is after Buddy said he demanded more competition and after constantly winning 1v1 matches, primarily with Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali, And now that Mustafa is moved over to the main roster, we have 3 new competitors to vie for the title at the Royal Rumble. Now, as amazing as all these competitors are, I don't know, Buddy's just been on a roll. And I feel that if he's going to lose the belt, he probably should lose it on a one-on-one and have a bit of a better build as opposed to a tournament to determine who's going to take it. So I'm just going to say Buddy Murphy, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to say Buddy's going to win the belt, or retain the belt, and there's going to be probably a mini tournament between Itami, Tozawa, and Kalisto to determine who's going to be the number 1 contender. And I'm going to say Itami is going to win, and he's going to challenge, and Itami will get the belt that way. I feel that works a little bit better. I feel that it helps to build, especially with the Buddy Murphy being a great champion, and people have been wanting to see his matches. And 205 Live's actually been going up in the rankings on the WWE Network. So, for that, I feel that Buddy should at least hold the belt till Mania. And then, I feel he should lose the belt. Now, with that out of the way, the match that Ken, oh so wonderfully neglected to mention. Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. Championship. So, this belt was held by Shinsuke in a very lackluster reign, where he really didn't get to do much, rarely showed up on pay-per-views, barely even on TV. The whole Knock America thing didn't pan out because he barely did anything with it because they never let him do anything with it. Until Rusev claimed the championship not only on Christmas, or at least that's when it aired, but Rusev Day and Rusev's birthday. A 3-hit combo where Rusev got the belt from this man. So congratulations to Rusev. And because of that, Shinsuke is taking it a little unwell and tried to make it personal by attacking Rusev from behind. And then when Lana tried to intervene, Rusev went for a Mashka kick, which landed. And then Shinsuke landed on Lana, injuring her. So she was written off of TV for a little while these two geared up for their match that is coming at the Royal Rumble. So, do I think Shinsuke is going to reclaim the championship? I'm going to say no. I think Rusev has waited long enough to get this title back. It seems to be his bread and butter championship because it seems to be the only one he's allowed to win. And when he holds the belt, people notice. People want to see him, and people will be excited to see him with the belt. And it means more screen time for Rusev, which can only do better things for him. So I'm going to say that Rusev retains the championship and moves forward, and Shinsuke will probably end up in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Sorry, Shinsuke, but your work has not been up to snuff. I mean, not for nothing. Shinsuke is a great competitor, but at times it feels like he doesn't put in a lot of effort. Not for any, reason that we can't understand. I mean, he went from being the top guy in New Japan coming to WWE, and really, with the exception of his NXT run, has floundered. People got excited with his heel turn, and it didn't go anywhere. He won the championship, and he never got, a storyline that was worth anything. He got 1 or 2 people, and then they vanished because of injury or something like that. And we finally get the first real feud he's had for the belt. And he loses the belt to him. I mean, he won the belt off of Jeff Hardy. And Jeff didn't even seem to really care. He didn't try that hard to get the belt back because his feud was with Randy. So, Shinsuke, I'm sorry you haven't gotten much. I'm worried that it's because of booking or that they think you're not trying hard. But as it is, right now, Rusev deserves the belt, and we deserve to see a new champion and see where he goes with it. All right, now, on to where I consider Ken's first mistake. The Bar versus Ms. Man. So we have Sheamus and Cesaro versus The Miz and Shane McMahon for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Now, I get, I get his appreciation of The Miz, but I don't get his infatuation with The Miz because, quite frankly, it goes a little over the edge for me, in my opinion. He thinks The Miz is just going to claim everything because he's a great promo. He's a great guy. He's a competent wrestler. He's a phenomenal WWE wrestler. But he doesn't need belts, especially with the fact that we're all 100% certain that this is going to lead to Miz versus Shane at WrestleMania. And they don't need the belts. What they need is a reason to be against each other. And winning the belts does not need that. Because what you're doing is you're taking the tag team championships and you're pinning the tag team champions against each other, and it just leaves out the rest of the tag teams. There's a lot of other tag teams that can do with going for the belts and not have to have it revolve around a McMahon again. I feel Shane and Miz are going to not be able to see eye to eye during the match. I feel that Sheamus and Cesaro are going to take the belt, or going to retain the belts. They're going to leave, and we're going to have, Shane, try to pause. I say they'll do better, so. Miz will see the writing on the wall, and Miz will turn on Shane, and we'll have our WrestleMania feud between the two, and I'll probably open the show. That'll be 2 years in a row. Miz will open WrestleMania, I'm saying. Sheamus and Cesaro, the Bar, can go having amazing matches against almost anyone, really. The New Day, they've had great matches. The Usos, they've had great matches. Gallows and Anderson, they can have great matches with Sanity, if given the liberty to do what they need to do, can have a great match. Have them put something out there. But for now, we're just going to have this blow over. Ken, you said Miz and Shane are going to take the belts. Shame. Shame. Shame on you. Shame. All right. Now, for a match I'm really looking forward to. The SmackDown Women's Championship. Asuka versus Becky Lynch. All right. The man versus the Empress. I mean, this is going to be a brawl. Asuka finally got the belt from TLC. Thanks to Ronda. So Asuka is the champion going into this match against Becky Lynch, who, once again, has proven herself to be in championship contention. And we've had great promos back and forth. Becky looking every bit the man as she needs to, while Asuka coming in and looking intimidating as she ever does, as she always does and always will. And the two of them have had a standoffs to prove who's the better wrestler. And now they're going with the disarm her versus the Asuka lock. Now, if I wanted to go with my heart, I'd say Becky. I mean, Asuka's been great, and I'm glad she's a champion, but I'd want Becky to win. But here's the thing. Ken and I have been talking about this. Yeah, despite all the things that are going on between us, the two of us talk a lot, and we've had this story for Becky since before TLC. Before she lost the belt, we said she was going to lose the belt at TLC, and Asuka wins it, and via that way, she can try to get it back at the Royal Rumble. She will fail, and then that will lead up to future events. So, as much as I'd like to say Becky, the stories in my head say Asuka takes it and gets to look forward to a WrestleMania match where she's champion instead of vying for the championship. So, needless to say, I could see this easily taking a match of the night spot. All right. Now, we go from the SmackDown Women's Championship to the SmackDown's WWE Heavyweight Championship. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. All right. So, we've had a very interesting and very adrenaline-filled and very timely feud between these two. Daniel Bryan using the championship as a platform to get his word out about consumerism and how it is ruining America and the world. Talking about how people are drinking out of their plastic cups with their plastic straws, eating eating hot dogs made of processed meats in these paper trays and throwing them out, which gets put into dumps, which are ruining the air and ruining pollution. And AJ will just let it go and let it happen because he does not have the same conviction Daniel Bryan does. Daniel Bryan took off the leather of the belt and turned it into a vegan alternative. If that doesn't show you commitment, I don't know what will. Whereas AJ Styles, first off, he wants revenge because Daniel Bryan just keeps getting at him over and over again. He keeps telling the people can do what the people want because it's their decision, not Daniel's. And considering the last time they saw each other had Daniel Bryan attacking Vince McMahon, saying that his generation, the baby boomers, is what single-handedly has caused all of this. It was pretty heavy stuff. So, with that said, who takes the belt? Who keeps the belt? AJ had a very lengthy run. He had feud after feud. He had some good, he had some bad. But, with all that being said, Daniel Bryan has been on this roll ever since he turned heel, and the momentum has not stopped. And if it was stopped here, before he really got running, before he could go to another feud, before he could have another person, everyone still anticipates this Miz versus Daniel Bryan feud to happen, which, it's going to happen. Hopefully it'll continue to get better as opposed to where it was with bringing the wives into it. But for now, Daniel Bryan needs to hold the championship. Daniel Bryan is going to retain, hook or crook, however he needs to. Maybe he'll put the ref in front of AJ Styles. Maybe he'll low blow AJ Styles while the ref was turned. The thing which kept causing AJ so much pain during his Shinsuke feud. Either way, Daniel's walking out of this as champion. All right. So, we go from the SmackDown side to the Raw side with Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks, a match that a lot of people did not really put a lot of stock in, but just from the feud alone has gotten people's interest. Because Ronda's right. Sasha is one of the 4 horsewomen of the NXT women's division that got people to look at women's wrestling as legitimate and is just as good as the men's. Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, Sasha. And sure, not all of them have been used to the best of their ability while they're on the roster. But Sasha has put on amazing matches with Charlotte, put on amazing matches with Bayley down in NXT, has put on amazing matches against Asuka, and will continue to put on amazing matches as long as she can breathe, because she puts her body on the line each and every time. With that being said, this is a placeholder match. Sorry, it is. We all know what the main event of WrestleMania 35 is going to be, and Sasha is not a part of it. She'll probably be a part of the women's tag team division with Bayley, and they'll probably win. Good for them. I think that's a great idea. So, with that being said, Ronda Rousey is not going to lose at the Royal Rumble. If she's going to lose, she's going to lose at Mania. Ronda Rousey wins my lock because it's the lock to go on. There is virtually zero chance of this not going the way everyone thinks it is. Now, Ken, when I saw what you did, really, Ken? Really? Don't get me wrong. Finn is amazing. He deserves to have the championship. There are ways he can win it. He has yet to call forth the Demon. The Demon has never lost on the main roster. They have Strowman. Strowman can interfere, giving Finn the title. There are ways Finn can win. Absolutely. Finn is not going to win. The Demon was never mentioned. Strowman would rather win the belt off of Lesnar than off of Finn. Finn has more likely a shot at The Undertaker at WrestleMania this year than he does in any year down the line, because The Undertaker is getting up in his years. Seth is being primed to go after Lesnar for the title. The two matches that are coming down to Mania are almost ironclad. Finn is not going to win this match. Brock Lesnar takes the belt, and he gets to walk away with it until WrestleMania. Now, with that out of the way, we have two matches remaining. First one is the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, Ken explained during his segment, I'm calling it, where we go for the Final Four, Sharpshooter, and Iron Maiden. Now, as I recall my picks, the Iron Maiden, and forgive me if Ken and my picks will match, because this is just, it's what they built it to, you know. My Final Four is going to be Charlotte. It is going to be, what were they? Charlotte. It was going to be Nia. It's going to be Ember Moon. And it's going to be storyline. Number 30's buzzer hits. Supposed to be Carmella to come out. Carmella does not show. Becky's music hits. She takes Carmella's spot in the Royal Rumble. So my Final Four: Charlotte, Nia, Ember, Becky. She's going to lose against Asuka. Maybe Ronda gets in the way again. And she comes in. And she wins the Royal Rumble and declares to take on Ronda at WrestleMania. That is a story that we've had for a while. But as for this, we do need a sharpshooter. And my pick is actually going to be NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. I feel she's going to be a surprise entrant. I feel she's going to come close to being in the Final Four, because that's quite a match. Ronda versus Shayna in WrestleMania. Now, as for the Iron Maiden, this is what I mean about picks being the same. I think Charlotte's going to be the Iron Maiden. There are some people who I just feel will last longer. I feel Charlotte's going to come out early, and she's going to last almost the entire way. And she's going to seem primed to get her rematch, and that's when Becky's going to come out. So, those are my picks. And, you know, I don't feel that they built anyone else up for it, you know? Ember's a bit of a given, because a bit of a, throwaway, just because of the fact she's a great competitor and people would love to see the match, but she hasn't had a build for it. I could have put Shayna in there if I wanted to, and it wouldn't really have meant as much. But that's what I went with. Now, from the women's to the men's. So, second verse, same as the first. They really didn't build up a lot of people to go after either Daniel Bryan or Brock Lesnar. Don't forget, normally when they have a WrestleMania match, it tends to be face versus heel. I could see a face versus face if the two respect each other or if they have beef like Rock Cena. But almost never heel versus heel. which is why it makes us much harder to think that Daniel Bryan's going to get an opponent via this. But top final four, Seth Rollins, who I think is going to win, Drew McIntyre, who is going to get a big push because he keeps getting a big push, Braun Strowman, because I feel Drew and Braun are probably going to eliminate each other, and for SmackDown's sole representative, I'm going was it the heart or the soul? I forget which one he counts as. Mustafa Ali is my fourth. Now, as for the sharpshooter, who is going to get the most eliminations, I'm going Drew. Absolutely. I feel Drew is definitely going to have the most eliminations, probably second to Samoa Joe, probably third to Braun Strowman. I feel because Braun is still recovering, he's not going to get as good a showing as he normally does, but I still feel he's going to get a lot of eliminations. Now, as for the Iron Man, we've already seen Finn was Iron Man last year. We've already seen Seth be, a gauntlet match, man, lasting well over 60 minutes. So I feel he's going to do it again. Seth's going to be the Iron Man. And he will outlast all the other competitors, and he will go on to face Brock Lesnar almost in Roman Reigns' place. I mean, if anyone's going to take the belt off of Brock and people will be happy about it, it's going to be Seth. Seth's the one who's getting built back up. Seth's the one who's going to carry the division until Roman gets back. It's not going to be Braun. They seem to sour on Braun for some reason. It's got to be someone that the fans connect with, someone that the fans know will push themselves to great match after great match. And Seth's done that over and over again. I mean, they could leave the belt on Brock again, have him go another WrestleMania where he goes in and out as champion. Maybe they want him to try and be a dual-branded champion. But you know what? The fans are going to sour on it. They say this is going to be a new era. And if that's the case, Brock's got to lose the belt. And Seth is the best one, the best underdog that the people want to be there as their champion. So that's who's going to win. Seth's going to take the belt. See? That wasn't so hard, Ken. I can do the show. Jeez. That is the Royal Rumble match predictions for the pay-per preview for, wait for it, Kaufman Corner of the Wrestling Connection. Now, next week, Friday, 3 p.m., we will be crowning our champion, the undisputed World Wrestling Connection champion. We might have a special guest appearance, possibly. The Big Four Championship, gets retired. The King of Pay-Per-View Championship gets retired. New rules will be implemented for the belt, this new belt. New boundaries, new match types, new reasons for doing the things we do in our predictions. And maybe friendships can be mended, things can blow over, and Ken could finally put this whole issue past him and finally admit that I am the future and he should just let it be. But with that, I thank you for watching. And as always, be connected, get connected, and, of course, stay connected.
I've heard it
Too many times to ignore it. It's some things that I'm supposed to eat. Someday we'll find it. The Wrestling Connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da doo. Da 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 da. Ooh.